Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Thanks for tuning in. I just wanted to do another video with regards to my jaw surgery. I've received quite a few comments and messages about the surgery, and I just wanted to sort of do a follow-up video just to give you a bit more answers to your commonly asked questions, and just sort of, I think I missed off a few things anyway, so I just want to add to that with this video. So I hope you enjoy. If you do, please give me a thumbs up and subscribe, and also please leave any comments down below if you've got any other questions. So I've got my phone and I've wrote down a few questions in my notes. So the first one I've been getting is sort of, when do you feel like you again? So obviously you had this massive surgery, you're feeling a bit crap after a while. So what stage do you actually feel normal? So for me, I would say day 7. So by day 7, I felt like if I wasn't swollen, I probably could have gone outside to work, or I could have, you know, gone somewhere. But because of the swelling, I mean, the swelling isn't as bad by day 7, but yeah, I felt okay in myself, yeah, but I just couldn't go out. So yeah, by day 7 I felt okay. Another one is, what if I hate myself after surgery? To be honest, when you first come out of surgery in that sort of first week, when your swelling is at its biggest, you probably won't feel the greatest. I mean, you look in the mirror and you forget what you actually look like. You forget what you used to look like. You've got this sort of chubby cheeked face and you're a bit unsure as to, what the final result is going to be. So it's quite like a tense time for you to be going through. But yeah, I'd say don't worry about that fact. Just wait. It's all about, the key I think is to be patient. So be patient with your results, and then you'll see everything slowly coming down. The swelling will come down over the next few weeks and you'll slowly begin to feel more of yourself. And I highly doubt you'll hate yourself after surgery. I mean, all the stories I've read online have been mainly favourable. I think I saw one who, really hated his results after all the months had passed. But generally, your face will look better. You'll be more aesthetically pleasing. You'll be able to eat everything you want. You'll probably have less of the aches and pains if you were having any. So yeah, look forward to it. Don't be too nervous. And I am very much pleased with my results. Obviously, you can analyse your face and think, oh, this could change. My nose, I'd like it to be a bit smaller, want higher cheekbones, but it's easy to do that. The main thing is you feel okay and you feel comfortable with your new face. Another thing is I've been asked before is, can you feel the screws and sort of plates in your face? Saying that, I can't anymore. I think if I press here, I can feel a kind of screw, but sort of I noticed it more in the first month of being off. I could feel the plate under here, because I think they placed a plate just underneath my nose. I could feel that if I pushed on it, but not if I was generally speaking. But I can't feel anything, and no, I don't go off when I go through the airport scanner. I believe my parents actually asked the surgeon would I sort of set the alarms off, but I think he said because it's made out of a certain metal, it doesn't set them off. So yeah, you shouldn't go off in them. Let me see, what else? I've had as well, my parents and family or friends don't support my surgery. I think that happens to a lot of us. That was the case for me. My parents and my family, they didn't think I needed to have the surgery done. They're very anti-surgery. My parents would say, it's not life-threatening. Why are you going to put yourself through this huge surgery just to feel better about yourself and to be able to eat more? It was tough for me, because the thing you want the most is the support from your family or the people you love the most. So it was really hard for me, and to be honest, I put it off for a long time because of that, because I wanted that support. But eventually I just thought to myself, look, I'm a grown woman, I'm going to take control, I want to do it because I know it's going to improve my life and, improve my confidence and so on. So yeah, I booked it in, and then I told my parents. Obviously they weren't that pleased, they weren't excited for it, they didn't think I needed to get anything done, which is fine, I understand, because it's a major surgery to go through when, your life isn't at risk. But I have to say, if any of you are worried about that, I think the key thing to do is to do your research, maybe show those people who aren't agreeing with the surgery before and after results. Show them videos like this of people who've gone through it and have been through the same things. Go through the frequently asked questions with them, because my parents thought I would have a massive basketball face after and look like I'd been beaten up, but actually I didn't. I looked swollen, but not that bad. So yeah, sort of make them aware of what actually happens in the surgery, get them to speak to the surgeon themselves and for them to ask any worries or queries they have. And I think it's all about being better informed, because if someone tells you they've had jaw surgery, it sounds crazy, it sounds really bad, and of course it's a tough surgery, but it's not that bad, it really isn't that bad. So yeah, I told my parents. They weren't happy, but slowly but surely they came around, and they were actually the most supportive people during my journey. During my recovery, they helped me out so much. So yeah, thanks Mum and Dad. Another one. Sorry, I've got so many questions. Just wanted to talk, this sort of jumps about during different processes in the surgery. One thing I wanted to talk about was bad skin after surgery. I don't mean it in the sense of spots or anything like that. I meant sort of dry, flaky skin. This came about, I think it was when I was going to my post-op appointment with my orthodontist. It was about 2.5 weeks after my surgery. And because I had to travel to get there, I put makeup on because I like makeup. I was putting makeup on, and for some reason under here it was just so flaky and dry. And I was like, wow, this looks really bad, like it was just flaking off. And so when I got to the orthodontist, I said to him, I've got a lot of dry, flaky skin under my eyes, and I've never had that before. Well, what does that mean? And he said to me that it's completely normal, and what it is because of the swelling. And that did make sense, because under my eyes, this was sort of the main area I had of swelling, sort of the sides of my nose and here. It was sort of like I looked really chubby. I'll see, I'm going to put some pictures during this that will pop up every now and then to show you my pictures. But yeah, this is where I was mainly swollen, so that was why it was flaking off. So when I got home, I sort of made up a little recipe, and it really worked well actually. All I did was mix honey, which was Manuka honey, but I think it could be any honey you want, and brown Damara sugar, is that what you call it? Brown sugar, it's sort of more granular than regular sugar. And mixed that up and just rubbed that on my face, left that on and then washed it off, and it'd make it really smooth. And I did that for a few days, and then that slowly made the dry skin alleviate. So yeah, I definitely recommend that, and it tastes really good as well. So if you're having any troubles with dry skin, definitely just try a homemade sort of easy quick honey and sugar mask, and that should sort it out. Also, I want to talk about hair loss. Now this makes it sound super scary, but I just wanted to make you aware that it could happen, but it's not because of jaw surgery, it's because of the anaesthesia. When you go under anaesthesia, it can, I don't really know because I'm not scientific or anything, anesthesia sort of forces your body into a state of sleep, and it disrupts the hair cycle, the hair growth cycle. I'm not 100% sure on that, so don't trust me, but you can Google it. So that can sort of disrupt the way in which your hair, replaces and grows. So you may find that you're sort of having a lot of hair shedding after the surgery. So I remember a week after my surgery, I washed my hair for the first time, and I have long, thick hair like this. So I didn't think it would happen to me. Like, I'd read about it and thought, oh, it's not going to happen to me, I've got a lot of hair. And I was brushing it, and a lot of hair was coming out on the brush, and I was quite alarmed, and I really, really worried about it. So I was straight on Google, looking it up, and I realised that anaesthesia can have this effect. First step, don't worry, because that's what makes it worse. Obviously I was worrying, and I was thinking, oh my gosh, like what if I lose all my hair? That's very rare. I don't think that will ever happen. I think it's just that sort of temporary period in which your body is in a state of shock after the anaesthesia and the surgery, so all its sort of nutrients that you consume are all directing to repairing the wounds and all the sort of surgery sites in your jaw, and not towards your hair, your everything else. So I know I've made you alarmed, But I just wanted to make you aware in case that happens to you, so don't worry, because actually I spoke to my hairdresser about it and she said, yeah, it's a really common thing for people who have had surgery to have some hair shedding, but don't worry, it will restore in a few weeks. I started to take multivitamins just because I panicked and I like to say it made a difference, but I don't think it did. I just think generally as my body recovered over the following weeks, the hair shedding stopped. So don't worry, please ask your surgeon if you've got any sort of queries with regards to medications. Another question I've had is relating to what I talked about in my previous video, and that was the fact that I was sick blood on my first night, and that's actually a really common thing to happen to dual surgery patients. But the query is if you're wired shut, then how can how does the puke get out? Number one, I wasn't wired shut. I had 2 strong elastics on my 2 front teeth and I couldn't open my mouth, partly because I think they were so strong, and number 2 because my mouth was just numb, like I couldn't actually open it. And I managed to puke. I don't know, to be honest, that's the last thing you're thinking of when you're being sick. You don't really think about how it's coming up, but it came out. I didn't have any problems choking or not breathing. So for me, not a big deal, it's found its way out. I think if you're wired shut, I don't know how it works, but I have read a few times that it finds its way out. So don't worry about it. Surgeons are aware this happens, so if you've got any queries, just ask the surgeon. Because another thing I thought I'd raise is if someone wants to ask, is it normal for one side of your face to be more swollen than the other? During my recovery, I can't remember if it was sort of day 10 or so, I remember looking in the mirror and thinking, oh, this side of my face is quite more swollen than the other side. Why is that? And I was worrying because I'm aware, you should look out for signs of infection and so on. So I contacted my surgeon and he told me this is normal, this can be normal. Obviously you're meant to sleep upright, but I'm not really an upright sleeper, so I would slowly sort of end up sleeping like half diagonally. And he told me that the side that you might rest on more is the side that will be more swollen, and that added up in my case. However, signs for infection can include swelling in one area of the face. Also, sort of a salty taste in the mouth can mean an infection. If you look around the area, if there's any pus or anything like that, that could be an infection. So always be on the lookout for that. And that leads on to my next thing about teeth brushing and keeping your mouth clean during surgery, during the recovery. First few days it's pretty much impossible to brush your teeth. I recommend you get a baby toothbrush. That's sort of like an absolute essential number 1 on your list, because literally I think the first 3 days at the hospital, all I could brush, to say this is the toothbrush, was this and then that. Getting all in the back, no way. Like I couldn't, it's hard to describe because this is quite a while ago now, but all you could do was that. You couldn't actually even fit the brush into the back, so it is a bit gross, to be honest. But you should get a mouthwash and sort of try swig that and try and get into the areas you can't get to. When you're at home though, slowly but surely, as the swelling alleviates, you can begin to open your mouth. It won't be very wide, but with the baby toothbrush, because it's so small, you will be able to slowly but surely get into those areas and crevices. But again, follow up with a mouthwash, should be okay. As well, I got into a routine of when I would eat, the slimy food, I'd wait 30 minutes and brush and mouthwash my teeth, and then I'd put my elastics back in. And then when I eat again, I'll do the same thing, wait 30 minutes, brush my teeth and mouthwash. Because you're at home doing nothing, it's sort of easy to get into that routine because you've not got really any other things to be doing but sitting there and brushing your teeth. So try and get into a routine of keeping your mouth very clean, especially around the sort of stitch areas and so on, because it's very important. You don't want any infections going on. Start taking pictures of yourself from day 1. You may not feel like it, but start taking pictures of yourself, as vain as that sounds, because I think one of the most common worries about the surgery is the swelling and sort of how big it will be. I think if you start taking daily pictures, you'll really start to notice changes at a certain day. I think the first 3 days, so day 1, day 2, and then day 3, which is when your swelling is at its largest, probably, you know, not the most ideal days for swelling. Day 4 and 5, probably the same situation. I remember at day 12 taking a picture of myself and thinking, wow, like, is this my final result? Like, is this what I'm going to look like for the rest of my life? Because I didn't look as swollen as before, but I looked like a chipmunk, and I thought, oh no, like, I don't want to look like a chipmunk. But then obviously, because I kept taking pictures, I could realise that no, really, it was coming down. And yeah, so don't stress, because I think the key thing, as I've said before, is to be extremely patient. It's very tough being at home. All you're doing is sort of worrying about how you look, how uncomfortable you are, and what you look like in the mirror. You forget what you used to look like. This is all so normal. It's normal to be crazy. It's normal to worry. Just please know and have faith that all the swelling will disappear. You won't be like that forever, and you will look okay. So yeah, I wouldn't worry. Take pictures of yourself, keep a track, keep a diary if that helps you, and you'll definitely see the difference, because I actually look back at a picture when I went to my surgeon's follow-up, and that was about day 18, and I thought I looked fine. Like, I just thought, yeah, this is my face now. Walked around, you know, happily. And then I look at the picture now and I think, okay, yeah, I look like a chipmunk. Like, okay, I kind of looked passable, but I looked like I'd been to the clinic and had loads of fillers done and something like that. So I probably didn't look ideal, but it wasn't that bad. And just to verify, I went back to work about day 23 or 4. And again, I was still kind of swollen, but normal looking. Like, I could pass as being normal, not a chipmunk walking down the street. So I just want to close the video by saying thank you so much for all your comments and nice messages with regards to my first video about jaw surgery. But if you do have any more queries, any more messages, please leave them down below, because, you know, I love helping you all out, because I was in your position one day. You know, I would be the person asking the jaw surgery people this and that. I was the one worrying about what all my nose looked like, what all my face looked like. Feel free to ask away. And yeah, so I hope you enjoyed the video. Please make sure to subscribe for more. And if you've got any other ideas for any other jaw surgery videos you'd like me to make, please let me know, because I'll be more than happy to make them.